Nick Bollettieri is the common denominator, the tennis professional and tutor. Bradenton, Florida, where his tennis academy is located. That's Agassi's brother, Phil. Andre Agassi and Jim Courier arrived at the Bollettieri Academy at the same time. They both studied there for some 6 years. Courier finally felt that Bollettieri's favorite was Agassi. Agassi had a greater future. He said, I better go out and find my own. And here's how Agassi arrived at the final today.
What a rocky start against the 6'5" Swiss, Marc Rosset, who served 20 aces. He won the first set and served at 5-3 for the second. Andre said, that's enough. I want to get to the final. Petr Korda, Czech left-hander. Patrick McEnroe, not John, who lost in the first round. Then the young bull of the Pampas, Alberto Mancini. That was a slugfest. The Swiss, another Swiss, Jacob Wasek, quickly, and Boris Becker. This surprised a lot of people, but Andre completely bamboozled Becker.
Jim Courier now being coached by Jose Aguirre, who coached Michael Chang when he won the French Open 2 years ago. Here's his trip to the finals.
He started out quite easily, beating Lostano and Ferrara, but then against Magnus Larsson from Sweden, should have been out that match. Down 2-1, down low 40 twice in the fourth set, found a way out. One is against Martin, against number 1 seed Stefan Edberg in 4 sets. And Michael Stich from Germany, 4 sets. So just a little hiccup in that second set against Stich. Or outside of that, I thought he played some excellent tennis.
They both hit hard. You played them both. Who slugs it tougher from that forehand wing?
Well, I think that's going to be the duel here today. It's going to be forehand to forehand, and whoever hits the first short ball, the other one's going to take advantage of it, punish it, and try to get in behind it.
That was in the finals at Indian Wells when Courier beat Agassi last, although Agassi leads 4-2. In their head-to-head career, and they're 1-1 here in Paris. Look into the eyes of a man who is in his third Grand Slam final, Andre Agassi, last year here, and then at the U.S. Open where Pete Sampras defeated him. And now a chance at the big one again. Agassi serves to open the championship.
Jimmy, how is this court going to play? It was very fast during the hot first week. It's had a lot of rain since.
Well, the rain is going to seep down in there, slow it up a little bit. It's going to, the clay now will get into the balls, make the balls a little bit heavier. But, you know, these two have gotten this far by playing and mixing it up on the fast and the slow of the first and second week, so they're prepared for any conditions.
Agassi with a winning point on his serve, and that has been a key statistic for him in these championships. We'll show it to you. He's in the 70-70 club. We'll explain what that means. No one else is there.
Boom!
30-15. And here it is, 77, meaning that he is serving 70% in the tournament and winning his first serve points 71%. Those are very high numbers and means that he's been controlling the match when he's serving.
Well, that's one thing that he has wanted to do, and what he's really worked on is improving his first serve. He's gone to a strength coach that's giving him that extra power that sets up an easy shot on the second ball so that he can take the advantage, the initiative, and get in behind it.
Bruno Rivieux of France is the referee or chair umpire.
Well, this is awfully early to start this. I think this might be just a release of a little bit of nervous energy.
So Agassi, double faults, 30 all.
But we're at an awfully difficult angle up here to see just how that was.
Agassi wanted Rivieux to go out and look at the mark. He refused to leave the chair. There's that big forehand, but Courier misses. He was unable to break Agassi in their match last year. Won the first set in a tie break, and then Agassi ran him out the next 3 sets. Still wearing that hat, still got the Terabad 2 in the back. That's his lucky ball cap.
Agassi.
Agassi has opened this championship match in Paris by holding serve. Jose Agassi from Barcelona, Spain, now makes his home in the desert area of Southern California. Part of the USTA coaching staff. Next to him is Stan Smith, who is the head of coaches. Of course, they've been here with many young junior players. Mike Witt, David Witt, a big blonde, tough-looking hitter, made it to the semifinals.
Well, they're starting out like they've played every match so far, just slugging away. And Courier running around his backhand to hit that big forehand. Agassi, this is not where Agassi likes to play, behind the baseline. So we were talking about Higueras. I want to make one point. He was a master clay court player. He mixed his shots up well, he moved well, and that's what he has taught Jim Courier in the last 8 months.
The other Courier, as we chatted with Jim yesterday, told us was he taught me to be patient. You don't have to hit the tar out of every shot. You can mix in some off pace, and that might make you a better player.
Not a bad record for Higueras. He was here 2 years ago coaching Michael Chang, so 2 finalists in 2 tries, and Chang the champion, of course. Very late call.
The ball had already been struck by Agassi, and the lines judge then making the call out. Agassi looking for the mark. He wasn't sure it was out.
30-0 premier set.
They're going to play
again.
And they'll play a left.
Very late call, and that's a good judgment by umpire review, a let.
30-love.
Courier is very close to foot faulting. We're too far away to tell from here, but we might put a camera on his feet.
Well, if they call a foot fault, but in the 2 weeks of this championship, it'll be number 1.
Oh, gosh, yes, they just don't call him. Stefan Edberg might as well serve from the service line. I think...
Well, he gets in so quick, I think he does sometimes, doesn't he?
Oh, he does a lot. But they just don't like to call him here in France.
So holding it love is Jim Courier. It's 1-all.
It's very, very early in the match to make a call on this, but I've been watching both feet at the beginning of the match. They're both picking their feet up well. They're both moving well, but Courier seems to be the one that's trying to get in there and really jump around and hit his big forehand. But it's early. The first 2 games, you get a little feeling out process. Now that should be over. It should be back to business.
But not for Andre.
Well, he takes such a big windup on that high forehand volley. It's really one that not many players have ever used. It's a dangerous shot, but he gets in there. He has a lot of confidence in it. Boom. Agassi runs around to hit the big forehand, but he leaves such an opening, a big gap in the one side of the court. The Courier still has to get there and hit a great shot.
How many times they must have practiced against each other down in Florida through the years as they grew up with their eyes and their hearts set on a day like this.
And I don't know if they always got along as well as everybody'd like to think, which makes this match just that much more important to both of them.
Well, Courier told us that. He said, you get a couple of cocky guys like we are rooming together. He said, we didn't always get along.
Well, this right here is what's going to win the match for either player. Agassi takes the ball, rifles it down the line to Courier's backhand, and covers the net very well, catching the ball well above it.
On the line for the first ace of the match.
40-30.
Well, the extraordinary item to me in Agassi's victory over Boris Becker was that he came to the net more times and won more points at the net than Boris Becker.
So Agassi.
Back-to-back aces for Agassi. They're on serve at 2-1 in the opener. Many former champions are here to enjoy today's final, including American Frank Parker, 48-49 champion.
Doesn't he look wonderful? He's well into his 70s. And he played one of the 4 All-American finals here. At 49, he beat Budge Patty. This is the 4th.
First trip to the net for Courier. Love 15. Let's go back to Agassi, Courier, the 4th. Tony Trabert and Art Larson. We showed you the film of that. Frank Parker, Budge Patty in 49, and Donald McNeil and Bobby Riggs.
Oh, we hope they're watching.
Yes.
Newlywed Bobby Riggs.
The first point of this game, Courier ran around to hit a forehand and attack the net. He missed the volley. I hope that doesn't discourage him in a way that he stays back and loses a little bit of confidence. I still hope that he gets in there and continues to be aggressive.
You're not suggesting you're rooting for Courier today.
Well, they're both JSC.
That's right.
James Scott Connors and James Spencer Courier.
You got me out of that one, bud.
Sun trying to break through after some dismal
Now let's
weather the
watch
last
these
couple
feet,
days.
Jimmy. Does he touch with his left foot? No. He leaps but does not touch.
We were lucky to get tennis in on Friday, and there was a threat of rain yesterday. The long-range forecast was rain today, but the French weather people have been kind to us. And this Sunday final, perfect weather, little breeze, that may affect some play. Other than that, delightful. And the first ace for Jim Courier to punctuate the game, and it's 2-all.
18,000 people here today. That's a full house, a wonderful ballpark. Philippe Chatrier began to turn this championship around. It was a little seedy when I first showed up. Then Christian Duxin and now Patrice Claire does a wonderful job of running it. There's no tournament better in the world.
Well, here's the Jose Higueras influence. A little change of pace, a little looper back from Courier, but it falls short. Gives Agassi a chance to really pounce on his forehand.
Did you like playing against Jose Higueras, Jimmy? Oh, I am naughty. Excuse me.
Absolutely not.
Courier thought that ball was wide, and here comes Bruno Rebull. He says it's out.
Bruno loves to hop down from that chair. Great chair hopper.
Great stuff by both players here. Agassi caught in no man's land, flicks it a forehand, but gets a short reply, and boom. Threw in a shot there called the sky hook. He got up for that lob.
Ever see one of those?
I was like,
I'm proud of naming it. That was you, Connors, the sky hook.
We'll see some of those this evening in Los Angeles. Game 4 of the NBA. Here on NBC, hope you've made your plans for now what is a critical Laker opportunity. 7 o'clock, live Eastern Time on NBC. Michael and Magic go at it again.
Will they move back to Minneapolis if they lose?
2-all, 30-love, opening set.
That's the way to treat that second serve, anyway.
no.
Agassi holds of love. We're live from Paris. We'll return after these words from your local station.
Agassi Medical.
Jim Courier, 3 career titles, 2 of them this year, Indian Wells and Key Biscayne. He's been in 3 finals in his career, and he's 3 for 3. This is his 4th. Let's go back to the last game and Agassi's winning forehand.
Well, Courier hits a great return. He really handcuffs Agassi here. He's going through the strength program to make him stronger. That helps him, but the oversized racket is made that possible also. It gives him a lot more pace and a lot more power.
That's Gil Reyes, his strength and conditioning coach. He serves that role at UNLV as well. So the first opening for either player, love 30, Agassi with a chance. Agassi with 6 straight points, and now he gets a second ball.
Let's see if he takes a chance and really lets one rip here.
Seven in a row for Agassi, and 3 breakers come with it. takes the lead, 4-2. Joanne Russell's been chatting with Coach Jose Agassi.
Dick, well, I just talked to Jose, and he said he wanted Jim to keep the ball deep, be steady, take his time, and change the pace. He said Agassi was serving very well, and they both talked about, they said he just has to hang in there when Agassi gets hot.
And Andre Agassi is just that. He's won 8 of the last 9 points, and now has the lead.
Well, that was a bad game for Courier.
Well, he made a couple errors that I don't think he should have, but you know, he should get in there and start taking a few chances. He's been playing well. He should have the confidence.
Agassi thus far has been the aggressor. Well, Courier, true to his promise yesterday, he told us he's going to mix in some slices and some little lobs just to take some pace off it, and that was a good point. Did just that.
Well, he said that if he gets into a slugging match with Agassi, that he does it a little bit better, which I don't know if he really does or not. Courier's been in some good slugfests this week and has come out the winner.
Wait, please.
Opportunity to break back for Courier. Second ball, love 30. Ooh, what a serve. Threw the hook at him and caught the sidelines.
Dick, you notice Agassi's not playing way over near the sideline to serve to Courier.
That's right, in that ad court, he likes to go more toward the sideline and throw that kicker and get an angle on him. Not today. There's the kicker.
Boy.
Well, I'm not going to say anything anymore. Every time I come up with a prediction here, it goes sour. But Agassi is doing, I think, just what he wants to. He's playing close to the line. He's not leaving that big opening for Courier to rip that backhand down the line. And he's still getting some good hop on the serve.
30-all. Boy, there's 3 big serves. The hook, then the kicker, and now just a good flat smash.
Well, Agassi has made that known that he has worked on his serve. Has improved it. He's got speed. He mixes it up. He throws a slice, a kicker, throws the flat one in to keep you off balance.
Here in the 7th game of the match, that's our first deuce.
Well, Courier was over there doing a little limbering up exercises. It's a little bit chilly today and a bit of a breeze, but I think he might be doing that more to loosen up, to get his nervousness out of his system. Agassi again with the first serve, which is also important. Gets the short reply, and once again his forehand has been devastating.
5 winners to 2 for Andre. A point from 5-2.
Wait.
What a tough serve. His second serve right on the line. Andre Agassi has the early lead. Jim Courier serving to stay in this opening set. Broken in the 6th game and trails 2-5.
Well, that doesn't look good, that picture right there. It looks like he has a dead look, like he's not really looking at something but seeing right through it. He's got to pick himself up now, get him going. Forget about the last game. This is what both players like to do, run around that backhand and hit the forehand, but leaves a whole bunch of openings.
Agassi gets to that ball so quickly. Hits it on the rise. Courier said he hits it quicker than anyone in the game. Andre Agassi's coach, Nick Bollettieri. Joanne Russell's been visiting with Bollettieri.
Well, Nick Bollettieri said that their strategy was to come out firing. Last year, Andre came out like a schnook, and he said the big key for him, if Jim Courier's serve falters, then he has a great chance to win it.
Serve. He's shown that, and he's been tough on Courier.
So a big return by Agassi, lands just inside the baseline. Yeah, Courier not sure about the call, so it's a little slow getting to the next shot. But Agassi's come out. He's got a good pace to his walk. He's moving around the court, confident. Courier, on the other hand, is not moving like he did throughout the previous 6 matches. A little bit sluggish, maybe.
Just missing on that serve, as he has so often in this first set. Close, but fault.
Agassi dictating play. He's on the move. He's the one that's being the aggressor this first 7 games.
And now has 2 set points. Service winner, and it's back to deuce. So 2 shots at an early first set win for Agassi, knocked away by Courier. Cap starting to look but like one that Gaylord Perry would use. Got everything on it.
Well, that's a fashion statement I want to talk about in a little while. Dirt is okay.
Agassi had the whole court, but missed on the backhand.
Agassi has a great chance here. He should have stepped in and taken that ball out of the air with his high forehand volley that he's been using so successfully, but he gave Courier a chance to get back in this point. Both players, Dick, have a baseball grip backhand. Agassi with his two hands, he has his racket slanted almost like he's up there in a stance for baseball. But Courier, his grip is referred to by him yesterday from his young baseball days.
Yeah, he said as a left-handed hitter, he does throws right-handed. He said I kick and I bat and golf left-handed. That does have a transfer. Whoa! Pitcher and a shortstop in his youth, a little leaguer and junior high player, and then tennis became his game.
Avantage, Troy.
After beating Edberg in this quarterfinals, he got a call from Dusty Hill.
Your favorite group.
Oh, the ZZ Top.
Yeah.
And congratulated him. He's a drummer himself, his Courier, and so, although that's not his favorite group, what is it? REM.
REM. Yep. Michael Stipe. He loves him. But Agassi's been pounded on the drummer.
Service winner for Courier as he battled through a game that saw 2 set points against. He holds, and now it's Agassi serving for the set 5-3. We're at Roland Garros in Paris, France, live, the finals of the 1991 French Open Championships. 2 Americans for the first time in the finals, 37-year span. And one will win today his first Grand Slam title. Andre Agassi 5-3 in the opening set.
Agassi's the one that's playing inside the baseline. I feel that's very important. Courier's allowing him to take the aggressiveness here and to get to the net. He doesn't have to go to the net with approach shots like that. Courier seems to be satisfied to play well back of the baseline and slug it out, where Agassi is trying to get in there.
Strokes that he's offered, and then he misses on the shot down the line.
Well, he really takes Courier well out of court here. Courier doesn't do much with this shot, and look at the whole court open. Can't make them all.
That's right, they'd be sending you to a higher league.
I don't think there's a much higher league than this one right here.
Now, Courier hasn't really been able to put much of a dent in Agassi's serve. Remember, he did not break him once in the 4 sets last year in Paris when Agassi won in the round of 16. To go on the other side of the net. Review not allowing Courier's request to have the linesman check the mark.
But why then? That's what I want to know.
Totally opposed to the Bu's decision on the Stefan Edberg lob.
Gilbert, I want the referee right now. You got to go check the mark.
He wants to see the referee. He thinks that the referee is going to come out and overrule the decision and allow the linesman to go
The
check the
referee
mark.
can't do that.
I've done this a few times and I've gotten fined. Oh, the rules have changed.
But he's doing it in a pleasant way.
Yeah.
This normally very quiet, reserved, taciturn, if you will, Jim Courier. Here's the point in question. So much dirt on that line, tough to call.
Hey, Jimmy, when you played, I know they'd check it for you, baby. I know it.
I'd have dragged him out of there to check it.
He hasn't been in many finals, but he knows where the microphones are, doesn't he?
I saw him out here scouting him out this morning.
He got the umpire down from the chair against Stefan Edberg. That was Merlet. This is a different umpire.
Third set point.
We're going to check Agassi's feet, too, a little closely, because he looks as though he could be touching the line, but that's the far line from us.
First set, Andre Agassi, 6-3. It took 39 minutes. Roland Garros, named after a French World War I air hero, was not a tennis player. And this facility constructed basically a tribute to the Davis Cuppers, the Four Musketeers, the great four Frenchmen, as they endeavored and did beat the United States and Bill Tilden, ganged up on Big Bill.
1927, the French, after several tries, won in Philadelphia. So in those days, the winning team got to defend the cup in the final. They had no place to play in Paris. They were playing tennis in a very small enclosure, seated about 2,000 people. So they built Stade Roland Garros in 1928 for the defense. The French defended 5 times successfully.
As you saw those first set statistics, the winners, the key, +8 for Agassi.
And Bill Tilden, was the first American to be in a final in this ballpark, 1930.
And Courier starting off this second set with new balls.
And a service winner. Another story of the first set. Andre Agassi, no break points against the entire set. He broke Courier in the 6th game to take the set 6-3.
Well, Agassi again seeing his opportunity. Smacks a forehand cross court. Look at this touch here. Gets down low to the ball, lets the ball just barely slide off his racket for a beautiful drop volley. But Agassi inside the court, Courier content to play 4 or 5 feet behind.
Only 4 approaches for Courier, 8 less than Agassi. Suddenly that beautiful sunshine here on this Sunday has left us. Heavy clouds. Oh! 15-30. And as we told you, there was a forecast for rain all of the weekend. All of the play continuing throughout the tournament. We've had very few rain delays. Temperature has dropped. The winds out of the north. Not a good sign, and showers are forecast. It's approaching 4 o'clock. We're live from Paris. Courier already down a set. Now has 2 break points against him in this opening game of the second set.
But in talking to Jim Courier, he mentioned that he strings his rackets at 31 kilos. Now, for clay, I would think that's awfully tight. You have to put a lot more effort into your shots. 31 kilos got to be 68 pounds. Thank you.
Boom!
What did you string yours at for this tournament?
I use a different racket than he does, but I was stringing mine down around 21 kilos, which is,
wow,
under 50 pounds. But he's bigger and stronger and younger than I am for sure, but that seems awfully tight for these heavy conditions.
It's wide, and Andre Agassi has broken Courier to take the lead in the second set. So far, all Agassi. As Bollettieri teammates when he was competing and Courier in the junior 18s in Pensacola. It was a cold day, and he came out in jeans, makeup, and an earring. Courier was telling us that, and just in spite, won it anyway.
He's wearing an earring that he frequently wears. He says it represents the Trinity.
And that may have been the beginning of the Andre Agassi image. Bollettieri didn't know what to do with it. He did everything but put on galoshes and still won the 18s.
Nick gave him a fierce lecture afterwards. But then Nick said, I learned to ride with a kid. He's an unusual young man, and I started to understand him. He's an individual.
Well, after winning the first set, Agassi has won all the points but 2 here in the second set.
Do you think Courier's trying to overhit his forehand now, Jimmy, to
I think
compensate?
he's trying to do too much is exactly right. Instead of being content to get 2 balls in play, work the ball around, wait for his chance, he's trying to go out and just slug it out from the very first ball.
That is one of the great, the spot return. You've got to put that into your repertory. The spot overhead return. You'll never see it again.
Courier caught right in the middle. He's trying to run around and smack a forehand, but he just didn't quite get around there quick enough.
Yes, that
I like
coach
that.
will tell. Yes, that'd be good for our games, Dick. And then you could fall over.
Agassi a point from a 2-love lead in the second.
There's no doubt about that linesman's call.
No, Paul Fatignon is very loud.
Well, Dick, I was talking to Jose Higueras, and he said first thing he would tell Jim Courier to move his feet. He said he's very tentative. He said, I definitely say, get a little happier in your feet. And he said he'd ask him to stand back a little bit further on Agassi's serve, and he also wouldn't mind a rain delay right now.
Wouldn't mind. He'll be doing a rain dance in 5 seconds.
He should do a lot more of this. Pancho Segura was a master of this, the sneak in behind a good deep shot. He, right here, You see, Andre Agassi commits already to come over the ball. Courier sneaks in and catches the volley.
Very important stage for Agassi. If he could reestablish for Courier to reestablish himself.
As you saw, only his 5th trip to the net.
Avantage Agassi.
It's a big guy, 6'1", 173 pounds. Even with the slower clay, the shots of Agassi too good. That was that left-handed hitter going the opposite way.
Hit behind the runner.
He gets his whole body behind this backhand, and forget the shot itself, but he was leaning forward as he struck the ball and continued to go forward, which to me is the right thing to do.
And there is the first break point for Courier in the match.
Something that's impressed me about Agassi is his second serve here. He has really gone for him and made him, which has kept Courier back a little bit from being as aggressive, I think, as he would like. That's going back to Joanne's report on Jose to move back a little bit on his serve.
He gets a second ball here. Chance to break back, steal some of Agassi's momentum. What a shot.
Courier's got a good return, but Agassi plays a very delicate shot for being down break point. Courier at full stretch doesn't quite get there.
You're seeing Andre Agassi at his best.
Agassi loves that big forehand, especially when it's in the middle of the court. And look how close he is to the net. For someone who doesn't, quote, like to volley that much, sure gets in there awfully well.
Sound you hear occasionally is the wind through the various microphones. It's not thunder. One of the few missed hits from Agassi. Longest game of the match. They're at their 4th deuce. Agassi, 6-3. One break of service in the opening set, then breaks Courier to start the second. 1-love deuce here in the second set.
Agassi showing that he doesn't have to just hit every ball as hard as he can. Some good delicate touch. The key to that shot there is that he was way inside the service line, almost camping on the net.
Not 2-love yet, but he's a point away from it. There it is. Well, it was prophetic. Andre Agassi, 2-love in the second. Well, an opportunity for Courier, one break chance in that last game, but Agassi playing high-level tennis today. Stade Roland Garros, Paris, France. We did hear one report that there is some rain about an hour away.
Well, if Courier's waiting for that rain, he's going to have to figure out a way to stay in this match that long. Well, both players love the big forehand. He was trying to sneak in there, but no, he lets it bounce, and both players love that inside-out forehand. Good power behind it. If I was coaching Courier, I would tell him that he takes that ball that lands a little anywhere near the service line, hit it as strong as he is and as hard as he can, and go in behind it. If I was coaching Agassi, I'd say, nothing.
You're doing just as I said yesterday.
Well, you can't change a winning game like this, and he's on a roll. He's picking his shots well. He's moving well.
All-American Spirit. This final featuring two Yanks. Well, I bet things are a little ledgy this morning at George and Gladys Barbecue.
Yeah.
Dade City.
The Centennial Lounge, JR's Showcase. They've all got the TV set on. Talked to the chief of police. He said, not much crime here in Dade City. He said we have a few DWIs and traffic violations. Once in a while we get lucky and catch a burglar.
40, 15.
Jim called his mom and dad after his success in this championship, hoping that they could fly over and be here today. Both are on holiday, and passports are at home, just couldn't make all the connections. So they're watching as well. Mother in North Carolina, father in Florida.
Well, Courier runs around there. He hesitates at the last minute, but isn't it great how Agassi gets over there and is able to go from a defensive position into an offensive position there. Rifles a backhand up the line.
Apologize for the net cord. Certainly different than the way I play. I apologize for all the bad shots. I take those. I don't apologize for those. I want all those I can get. I apologize for all the bad ones I hit. Rackets up all the time. Courier holds, but it's Agassi in the lead. 6-3, 2-1. Behind Coach Bollettieri is Phil Agassi, Andre's brother. Father and mother are watching in Las Vegas. Dad Mike, a former boxer on the Iranian Olympic team in 48 and 52, is the one who encouraged both these men to play tennis. And Mother Elizabeth, who used to make those 500-mile round trips, driving Andre to Southern California tournaments. All the mothers of tennis players around the world. There ought to be a special statue for them. All the time taken to let their young kids, boys and girls, play this game at the tournament level.
His sister Rita was a very good player, too.
Oh, that's unfair. That's is there a law against those?
I remember Andre's father there used to be a tournament in Las Vegas, and he'd do anything to, to come around the tennis, to bring Andre around, hit with some of the guys.
Andre said he hit with you when he was 4 years old.
A long time ago.
30, 0.
Agassi continues to dominate on serve, and we'll see who dominates tonight at the Forum in Los Angeles. The Bulls leading the Lakers 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Live tonight from Los Angeles, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Chicago and Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and the Lakers trying to get even.
Agassi has jumped out to leads in almost every game he's served so far, so it allows himself a luxury when he gets ahead to go for his shots a little more, if that's possible. That's his game. Go for your shots.
20 pounds heavier than he was when he played in the finals last year. Rigorous weight program, really unique in tennis. I mean, heavy weight work. Agassi holds, and he leads 3-1 in the second, up a set. Did you ever? He's now bench pressing 250 pounds.
I always thought that everybody has their own technique and their own training period, but I always thought it was better to stay away from the weights. It contracted your muscles, made them not as long and loose and supple as they should be. I was trained more like a boxer. My grandfather was a boxer, so he trained me that way, away from the weights. But you can't argue with success here. It sure helped Agassi.
Gil Reyes, who has been his tutor in that weight room. He claims he's stronger and has more endurance, and there's nothing that would argue against that in this championship. They're going to check the mark.
Here comes Paul-Fetigon now.
Calls it out. Calls it up.
Now Bruno loves his exercise. Here comes umpire Bruno Rabu. And he rules. It'll be 11.
Well, that shows that two people just don't see eye to eye.
Look at the same mark, and one calls it out, one calls it on the line.
The absurd thing about tennis is if this guy sitting here, Rabu, can see every line, why don't you let him call every line? What do you need these other people out here for? Sell those seats. You could get $100 a piece for them.
I could do better, Bud, based on the demand here today.
The Pasco Pirate. That's what the trainer, Bill Norris, calls him. They're both Floridians, and Bill said Jim likes that name because he's from Pasco County, and the high school team there is called the Pasco Pirates. And he's trying to steal one here.
But you know what they say out there in Las Vegas? Andre Agassi, we got a winner, 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 winner. Dad, who is Mike, who is the showroom captain out at one of the major hotels there, he's heard that cry.
The reigning rebel from Las Vegas. That hat, couple things happened. He was playing Magnus Larsson a week ago Saturday, losing 2-1, losing 2 games to 1. He went to serve, and he said, I might as well go for a hat, even though it was cloudy. Maybe he thought he was going to pull a rabbit from the hat. He did. That's the hat that everybody is issued who entered, a plain white cotton cap. Now, in that game, he went down love 40, and I'll continue that story in a moment.
Sounded like a commercial break there, bud.
And no commercials on the caps for the major tournaments.
Unlike golfers, they can't put a logo up there. What, they can wear the ATP logo? Is that?
They can at every tournament except the Grand Slam event. And then it has to be blank.
At love 40 in that game, a baby began to cry. The woman quickly took her child out of the stands, and Courier looked at Larson and said, that baby doesn't like your drop shot either, that Larson was using very well. They both broke up. Courier relaxed and won the match.
On the line, ace for Courier, his second.
40, 30.
So he said, there's magic dust on that cap. I guess it comes in Tuscan red, and he's never going to take it off in a tennis match. Perhaps today will change him on that, but...
Checking the clouds, and they continue to be gray and a bit heavier. Serve and volley for Courier, and a beautiful top spin lob Agassi.
Well, right here, Courier does something that's totally unexpected. Serve and volley. He gets a high return, but he doesn't quite get in close enough to do enough with the volley. Agassi way too quick. Gets over there in plenty of time for the top spin lob. Taking a little extra peek himself.
1-3 deuce. The second set, Agassi with one break, won the first set 6-3.
Second service.
Tried to do too much with that.
Avantage, Agassi.
But rate for me, if you will, Courier's play today as you think it compares to the way he played to get to this final.
Well, it's not as good, but of course you're always play only as well as you're permitted. And Agassi is playing tremendously.
That's right. In the other matches, Courier was the one doing the dictating. This one, so far, not yet.
Break point for 4-1.
I think he should do a lot more of this. He has the opportunity here. It's a good firm forehand up the line, and it's easy overhead. But it's funny that you see players coming into the net and being aggressive when they're behind. Nothing wrong with doing that when you're ahead either.
Michael Chang was aggressive right away 2 years ago against Ed Berg and startled him, and then settled into his baseline routine, but he'd stolen the first set that way.
And here comes the first sprinkles of rain.
Jim, I don't think minds. I know Jose Garris's coach.
And Bruno Rebieu has halted play as this magnificent crowd goes to the colorful parapluie.
This is going to be interesting now. They're both walking off. They have a big locker room up there. This is the final, so really nobody else is in there. Courier will go to the locker room. Agassi won't. He has a room down underneath the locker room that he's hung out in throughout the course of these championships.
You said Agassi did not hit out here, actually arrived at Roland Garros just 40 minutes before the match.
I was standing right outside the locker room at 20 minutes past 2, 40 minutes before the match started, and Agassi was just walking in. Now, I don't know if he went out to practice or not. I can't answer that, but getting here to a final of a major event like this 40 minutes before the match is to go on is
unusual.
A little bit unusual is right.
So we have a break here in the second set. Andre Agassi won the first set 6-3 and leads 3-1 in the second at deuce, and we'll return in a moment.
Place to play when they held the Davis Cup, and it was Stade Roland Garros. 100 years of tournaments here. Why Roland Garros? Because of this man, a World War I ace. He crashed His propeller survived. Poor Roland did not, but his name does. There's a racket here displayed on the grounds from every one of the 100 tournaments. But the thing I like best is this canvas by Lucio Fanti. This wall is part of what the French call the centenaire, the 100th anniversary of the championship. And what an extraordinary rampart. It joins such great walls as the Great Wall of China, what's left of the Berlin Wall, the left field wall at Fenway Park, and now the wall of game, I guess I'd call it, at Stade Roland Garros. Extends about 130 feet, 20 feet in height, and every player who ever played singles here is on the wall. There's somebody named Hurry. I don't know who he or she was, but Hurry was here, and what a great name for a tennis player. And of course, Bjorn Borg, who won 6 times, and Christine Marie Evert, who won 7. This is all part of the celebration of the centenaire.
Well, we had a chance to look at that wall, and of course, Jimmy Connor's name is among the 2,973. Were there any Collinses there?
Yes. Not I. I don't know whether it was Sandy Collins, who played in the doubles here, or Ian Collins, an Englishman, but I saw a name up there of a player I once defeated.
Who's that?
Doug Crawford from Boston. He played here in 1973, beat Milan Halicek, as a matter of fact. Crawford isn't going to like to hear this. Trouble is, I beat him in the club tournament at Longwood. He was about 9 years old.
And there's an and there's an Enberg up there, thanks to Jason Stoltz. Enberg of Australia. All right. And while we wait for this rain to subside, we're in the midst of the second set of the men's final. Andre Agassi leading 6-3, 3-1 over fellow American Jim Courier. Let's pause for these important words. We'll return to Roland Garros after this. Welcome back to Paris. We're in a rain delay. Andre Agassi in the lead, his 3rd appearance in the last 5 Grand Slam finals. He was a finalist here a year ago, lost to Andres Gomez. He did not play at Wimbledon, a finalist at the U.S. Open, lost to Pete Sampras, the Australian, and now here he is back on center court in the finals of the French Open. And his coach, Nick Bollettieri, has to like what he has seen thus far. He's with Joanne Russell.
Well, Nick, 6-3, 3-1. What's Andre thinking in the locker room?
Well, I think that he was much more confident this year. He was at the finals of the Grand Slam last year, and he sort of came out with the feeling, well, gee whiz, maybe if I just keep the ball and play, I'll do well. I think that this time he came out much more confident. He's striking the ball well, and the first set was a relief to get that over. I think now Courier knows that he's in for a battle. And, he probably will change his tactics a little bit and play a little bit more forcing tennis. But I think Andre expects this, and he's very much within himself. And I'm sure that if he continues this way, the results will be, very, very positive. It was very encouraging to see him come in and do the couple of volleys today. So he's getting a lot more confident.
Was that part of your strategy, the coming in and volleying?
Not really. We're not going to make a certain volley, but I think he's getting a much better feeling when they come in, and he's feeling much more comfortable. He's played a few sets of doubles, and he feels much more confident up there. And I think as time goes on, he feels if he comes in when he's supposed to come in, it's much better than saying just keep going in. So we let Andre sort of make that decision himself.
Well, the momentum's with Andre. He goes into the locker room during a rain delay. How does he keep it up when he comes back out?
Well, I think you have to go back out with the attitude, what was I doing when I was out there, and just continue that. I think that Andre has zoned in and focused real well. He's really strong physically, and I think that's going to be a big factor. To me, that's been one of the biggest factors this year, is putting his strength and all of the things that God's given to him with his hands and great eyes, and I think he's focusing a lot better.
Well, the focus part, a couple times in this tournament, he's gone up 2 sets. He kind of fell asleep in the 3rd. So what are you telling him here?
I'd like to get the heck out of there as quick as possible. Even though TV'd like to go on a little longer, I'd like to see him ended as quick as he can, if that's at all possible. There's a long way to go yet. Curry is a fighter. He's not going to give you the match. He won't give you anything, and I think that's why Curry is becoming such a good player.
All right, thank you, Nick, and back to you, Dick.
All right, Joanne and Nick Bollettieri. He's going to have a double here at the French Open. Monica Seles, one of his pupils, has already won the women's championship. He can't miss here. Both have studied under him, Andre Agassi and Jim Courier. We'll look at Andre Agassi in a different light when we return. He'll be off the tennis court, but, well, he's never really off in terms of that button. He's on. We'll be right back.
The 1991 French Open is brought to you by Diamante, the new luxury performance sedan from Mitsubishi. By Bugle Boy Company, because any closet without Bugle Boy is an empty closet. And by 3M, worldwide sponsor of the 1992 Olympic Games.
And welcome back to one of the great cities in the world, Paris, France. We're about 15-minute ride from the heart of Paris, and as the crow flies, only a couple of miles from the famed Eiffel Tower. As you can see, the grounds crew, final preparations, they resurface the court. We understand that the players will return in just a couple of minutes, and then they're allowed a 5-minute warm-up period. So while we have an opportunity, let's take a look at Andre Agassi. His name in tennis fashion is worth big dollars.
It's loud and it's aggressive.
Absolutely fantastic.
Andre, thank you.
We market the personalities as well as the products. And Andre Agassi is one of our better athletes and one of our better personalities. We like to wake people up.
Hello. 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 Hello.
I do not like it.
Bad press, good press, at least they're talking, right?
We have to not only satisfy ourselves, but satisfy his demands, both from a functional perspective and from a style perspective.
Wearing the clothes and doing the things that feels good to me is all a part of making me perform better.
Definitely, he's a challenging individual.
I think if tennis generally switched to all white clothes, I might start having a problem. But for 2 weeks, I think it's, for what Wimbledon stands for. So it'll be different than what I'm wearing now, but the rest just have to wait and see. Any questions? That was weird.
And right on cue, and good people in marketing on Madison Avenue know about being right on time. And there he is, Andre Agassi. Some say that what they make on the tennis court, you can triple that or more, the big stars in endorsements and other issues. And I would suppose that for Andre Agassi, it's the high end of that. He's only 21. You can imagine how that first Grand Slam championship, how much that'd be worth in many ways to his tennis career and to his business life as well. But Jim Courier stands in the way, although Courier trails. He's down a set and down a break in the second set. They've returned to the center court at Roland Garros. 5-minute warm-up, and we'll resume action. The 91 championships of France right after we pause for these important messages. Players are about 2 minutes away from continuing play, and maybe sooner the way they're acting here. Maybe they felt they didn't need the entire 5 minutes because they're marching toward the baseline very seriously. There are the numbers to this point. Unforced errors even, aces even, but the winners marked that second column 24 for Agassi, 11 for Courier. We resume play. Courier serving. Deuce, a rain break of about 23 minutes. We continue live. It's about 20 minutes before the hour of 5 Paris time.
Tough spot to start up on. At a deuce and to have to serve, Jimmy.
Well, Agassi had a game point in this game already to go up 4-1, 2 breaks. Courier fought that off. It is a tough spot to come out and start in, but I'm sure he'd rather be in this position than down 4-1.
Coach Jose Aguirres has had a chance now to visit with Courier, perhaps any strategy changes, but you heard Bollettieri. He's already anticipating that the Courier will be more aggressive, more forceful. So Agassi will be ready for that.
When Agassi comes in like that, he's moving forward. Courier, in turn, steps back. Instead of stepping up and taking his passing shot a little bit earlier, he moves back, which gives Agassi that extra second to step in there and throw that little dink over the net.
Point away from 4-1, Andre Agassi. This, then, as it continues through the rain delay, the longest game of the match. No, not quite. This is the third deuce. And we understand although there are blue skies to the west, there is more rain coming. So these players going to have a dicey day. On the center line for his third ace.
Both players have come back from the rain delay just slugging away, just like they left. Rain delays are difficult. You get off, you want to take a shower, you want to change your shirt, you don't know exactly how much time you have. Stiffen up just a little bit. But not these two. Well, Agassi clips one right off the baseline. He gets the short reply. Courier has to step one way or the other there to make a choice, and Agassi hits behind him into the open court.
Right-handers, forehands, and Agassi the better punch today. Well, there's one in the column for Jim Courier.
Avantage, Courier.
Well, both players hit the ball hard. It looks like Jim Courier hits the ball much harder because he's throwing more of his body into it. Agassi more relaxed forehand.
Courier off the forehand side, and he holds. Still down a break in the second, down a set. Agassi up a break serving in the second set, 3-2. One break of service in the first set as Agassi won at 6-3.
Courier here more alert. He gets off the mark in a hurry. Gets there. Agassi not quite as alert as I think he should have gotten to this ball. It was good disguise from Courier, but the rain delay seems to have affected Agassi a little bit more than Courier.
Well, that last game is a confidence builder for Jim Courier. 2 break points. He could have dropped right out of it. Then down 4-1, and he ended up with 2 severe forehands to win the game.
And here's a little hope for Courier at low 30. He's had only 1 break point against Agassi serve all day. It's 3 in one game.
And a couple of errors from Andre.
0-40.
7 of 9 points since the rain won by Courier. And he breaks at love. The second set is even at 3-all. Dick Enberg with Bud Callens, Jimmy Connors, Joanne Russell at center court Roland Garros. Jim Courier breaking Andre Agassi in that last game to wipe out the breakup that Agassi enjoyed. Agassi with a set, 6-3. And Agassi, who played so flawlessly before the rain, making some unforced errors to help Courier. Light rain falling now.
Now, this is a big game for Jim Courier here. He just breaks back, gets even 3-all. He's got to really concentrate and dig down not to lose his serve again. For Andre Agassi, a lot of errors now creeping into his game. He has to regain that form that he had when he won the first set 6-3.
Wonderful contrast, those wicked forehands, and then the point one on a little drop.
Well, it's power at its best, but Courier sees the drop shot coming. Agassi chooses to change the pace, but once again, drop shots do not win points. Agassi not alert enough.
So in your book, it's inexcusable for you to be beaten by a drop shot.
Well, unless it's absolutely perfect, but Agassi should have been moving up, expecting something back. But Agassi looks impatient now to me. He thinks he's going to come out now after the rain delay and just blast Courier off the court, and it's not happening.
He had that chance for 4 games to 1. 2 break points to get there. Didn't. He knew he made a mistake there. That was a bad shot by Courier.
He has asked the ball boy to run his racket up to Jose Higueras. Either he broke a string or he wants his strings tightened. And they'll now quickly take that back to the shop.
It's going right back.
He should have that racket back within 30 minutes. It's about the length of time it would take him.
He doesn't want to bungle these game points. He'd love to go ahead 4-3.
40-30 at 3-all. Umbrella's out.
Is Courier rushing there a little?
Well, I think he sees the raindrops coming. He wants to get this game in. He wants to go in there with a 4-3 lead, if they call it now.
They might not. He's got to settle himself.
chance for Agassi to regain the lead.
Yeah, but two awful mistakes by Courier. One backhand, and watch this backhand just go, geez, a good 10 or 15 feet long. Since he went to that change of rackets.
Shot. Yeah, and he seemed to hurry himself.
Well, Agassi makes a great return off a first serve, but Courier comes in with a not that great of approach shot, but Agassi trying a tough topspin lob. Doesn't quite get it up there high enough.
There's a play you had to appreciate, Connors.
Well, this is great court coverage by both players, but Courier well inside the service line. But look at this, at full stretch. Put his racket out there, held a good tight grip, and made the volley.
And he has not distinguished himself with volleying throughout this tournament, but what a needed one that was.
Now the rain starting to fall again.
Oh, my. Agassi's brilliant return, quickly erasing that game point to go 4-3 for Courier.
And he'll have to come back serving at deuce again.
Here, umpire review has asked that play be halted. You can see from Courier's reaction as he flips the two balls in the air, that's not exactly what he had in mind. Well, there are a lot to discuss, and sometimes like baseball, and since we're live, and that's always a delight as well, we have an opportunity to go into a little hot stove league session with Messrs. Collins and Connors. I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you, and maybe I can represent the fans' point of view. We'll cook it up. Get to put a couple of logs in the fire here. Let's go at it. 6-3, 3-all in the second. The French championships halted. It's not a heavy rain. Don't wander away. We'll return in a moment.
The 1991 French Open is brought to you by Canon. Canon cameras, so advanced they're simple. By Old Spice Fragrance and Aftershave. Cool, crisp, and unmistakably masculine. Old Spice. And by AT&T, the right choice.
We're back at Roland Garros center court. As you can see, a rain delay, our second of the match. Finals of the men's championship as Jim Courier and Andre Agassi, a pair of Americans, battle. Agassi winning the first set 6-3. Courier answering a break by Agassi early, and they're at 3-all and at deuce in Courier's service game. One of the things that has fascinated me about your sport, and one that I certainly love, and Bud does as well, is that unlike most every other sport, even golf, you've got a caddy and say, what do you think about this shot coming up? That basically the tennis player is left out there alone to do it himself. He can't go after the bell, go in there and talk to his manager, except for the Davis Cup, and I guess that's coming up, a week from now?
This weekend in Newport, Tom Gorman will be sitting beside the court for the United States, Manolo Arantes for Spain in that Davis Cup quarterfinal. And at every change game, they consult with the captain, although sometimes, I remember John McEnroe, very single-minded, would say to Captain Arthur Ashe, leave me alone, I can work this out.
I kind of have a feeling that's how you feel, or am I wrong?
No, I've always liked it like that. Business should be done in the locker room, or the preparation for the big tournament should be done before you get there. Coaches travel around. I think they get a lot of credit, maybe too much credit sometimes. Once the players are out there, it's man against man, and that's the best.
That is the best.
If you could change the game of tennis, if you could make any subtle change, is there anything you'd like to see that maybe the rackets are getting too big and too powerful? Is it the officiating, as we've talked about today? Is it good? Is it bad? Is there anything you would change?
Well, we don't have enough time to tell you what I would like to change. But I do think that you brought up the right point. The equipment now has made the game just one-dimensional. Power, power, power. Who hits the ball the hardest and they happen to go in that day, that's the winner. There's no touch, no finesse, no McEnroe, no Nastasi left in the game, and I think that's hurt the game a little bit. People like to see power, but the delicacy of shot is something that is no more.
Well, who will have the courage? I wonder if the Association of Tennis Pros will have the courage to say, just for the pros, I need the high tech for myself, but to the pros, we are going back to wood.
Well, I don't think you have to go back to wood.
Well, what would you go back to?
I think there's a size limit maybe should come in there. I mean, some guys are using 95, 100, 110. If you can't hit a ball in that much space, then get another job. and it's there should be a limit to as big a frame that you can play with. Now they have wide bodies. They have they can trim them down for you. They can make it faster for you with the combination of the fiberglass and so forth that they put in there. I think that's all fine. But head space and how you hit the ball, there should be a limit.
If you were using a Woody today, if that were the case, could these two kids make the shots we're seeing with the old wood racket?
You put me under the gun here.
I don't think
they
could.
would.
Huh?
Of course they would, because they'd have equal armament.
But I mean,
just like baseball stays with a wooden bat. The better player hits the ball farther.
But could they hit that wicked topspin? And that's one of the techniques.
They wouldn't hit as much, and some of the topspin is terribly boring and is taking away from the game, my view anyway.
We understand that the weather is improving. We don't want to get caught with the players coming out, and we're in the commercial, so we're going to break for that right now. And we'll also try to visit with Jose Agassi, the coach of Jim Courier. Okay, next time we play, I get the big ones, you get the woodies.
I'll play.
We'll be right back. As you can see, as we return to Paris, they've removed the tarps and Monet sky, some blue with those clouds overhead. The players, we understand, are about to return to the court, and it'll give us an opportunity to look more closely at this fine young player from Florida, Jim Courier.
This is Paris. And this is the American 20-year-old Jim Courier, here seeking his first Grand Slam title, a long way from his hometown in Florida.
Well, Dade City is a small town just north of Tampa, and it's, we're a one-company town, Likes Pasco, where my father works. It's a citrus producing, they make orange juice and stuff like that. And everybody pretty much knows everybody, and I don't know how I ever learned how to play tennis there. It was just kind of not the best tennis area to grow up in.
Baseball was the local game. Jim played, and he played it well, but he chose tennis.
I think if I would have dedicated myself to baseball as much as I did to tennis, that I could be playing in the majors.
But he's in the majors. In tennis, the French Open, but ever in the shadow of Andre Agassi. 2 years ago, he got out for a moment, beating Andre here. But last year, it was a different story after winning the first set. Andre blasted him off the court.
My legs just gave out, basically. I'd played a lot of tennis going into the French Open last year, and Andre was the fitter man.
Courier and Agassi both trained under Nick Bollettieri, but Nick chose to concentrate on Agassi.
I was a little angry, a little hurt, but that's life in the fast lane. You got to kind of roll with the punches a little bit.
At the 5 years that he was at the academy, you cannot find a better worker and a more faithful guy, and gosh, we have very positive remarks.
As of last November, Courier took on as a coach Jose Agassi, who coached Michael Chang when Michael won the French Open 2 years ago. The Courier-Agassi combine is clicking. In March, Courier beat Agassi on his way to the final of the Newsweek Cup. There, he took on Frenchman Guy Forget and outlasted him 3 hours and 30 minutes in a desert sun. It was his second career win. Still steaming, he won his next tournament against another fine young American, David Wheaton, put Courier in the top 10.
It seems like a lot of players, when they get to the top 10, suddenly they feel a big pressure. If he worries about his game and try to become, the best tennis player, not the best ranked player that he can be, then, the rest of it is going to take care of itself.
Are you starting to think of Jim Courier as one of the big guys?
Well, I think that I'm one of the bigger guys. I'm not one of the big guys because I think to be considered big guy, you've really got to win a Grand Slam.
Jim Courier, and it's interesting, his 3 tournament titles, the last against David Wheaton, another Bollettieri pupil. In fact, it was Courier and Wheaton and Agassi all there at the same time, along with a little 12-year-old squealer from Yugoslavia, Monica Seles, who won the French title for her 2nd straight year yesterday, and she was 3 years younger than Courier. He was 15, she was 12, and he said, "Oh, don't make me rally with her. You get somebody else to do that job. She's hitting too hard already."
Dick, you know what's incredible is the Americans have been chastised, I think, for about the last 10 years, that, what happened to American tennis? Well, really, you can see that nothing really happened to American tennis. You just had 2 guys there that were playing some pretty good tennis at one time collectively, myself and McEnroe, and people kind of jumped on us, and put us out in the forefront, justifiably or maybe not. And then they forgot about a lot of the other players, which, to the players like Courier and Wheaton and Gilbert and a lot of Crickstein, a lot of guys, not fair.
Well, here are 2 of them that have advanced for the first time to Americans in the French final. First time in 37 years. They have a 3-minute warm-up. We'll return with more action in the finals. Andre Agassi in a 1-set lead.
Tennis Tips. Sponsored by Haagen-Dazs. Rich, creamy Haagen-Dazs ice cream and frozen yogurt. Taste the passion.
Our final tip from Paris on these slow red clay courts is a shot that's not practiced as much as it should be, and that's the overhead. A lot of people take that for granted, but don't do that. It's an important shot that wins a lot of points. Now, the key to the overhead is to make sure your body is in position, moving your feet back, leaning forward, but keep your head up and your eye on the ball so that when you make contact, you're leaning forward. But that is not always possible. So what I did was invented a shot called the sky hook. It's an off-balance shot hit with a stiff arm, but sometimes you have to improvise. Oh! It's tough to do. Watch the ball no matter what shot you choose. Keep practicing.
Now under bright, sunny skies, we're about to resume the finals of the 1991 Men's Championship. Andre Agassi 6-3 in the first. There are 3-all in deuce. Courier serving in the second. About 2 minutes away from play. Let's go to our old buddy, the pro from Sea Pines Plantation on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and doing such a great job at the USTA and the youth tennis program, Stan Smith with Joanne Russell.
Stan, is Jim Courier a part of the USTA coaching?
He surely is. He's part of our program. He's really at the top of the pyramid. He and David Wheaton and Jennifer Capriati. But our program goes way, way deep. We start with the 12-year-olds, the 16s, and the 18-year-olds. We had about 9 players playing in the junior championships over here at the French.
Well, the players we hear about are the Changs, Capriatis, Courier. Well, what happens to the player that's just starting out and needs the encouragement and the financial help?
Well, our philosophy is to help those players as they turn pro for about 2 years. And so we have in our program now Mal Washington, Todd Martin, who did very well here, Steve Bryan, Tommy Ho, Stacy Martin, Tammy Whitlinger. Players like that are just making this transition. We helped them for a couple of years. We did that with Chang, and we're doing that now with Courier. We're doing that with David Wheaton, and also Mary Jo Fernandez is part of the program. So these are the players you hear about, but the meat of the program really is with the really young players.
All right, thank you very much, Stan. Back to you, Dick.
All right, and our thanks to Stan Smith, a former colleague.
There is some objection to all that, however, Dick. A lot of people are saying, why are they helping millionaires? Those people are already established.
Yeah, you can also afford to pay their own coaches.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, their answer is, I guess, they are helping those that cannot afford, but also, I guess, in some fairness doctrine, how much money you have isn't a factor in whether or not you receive help from the USTA. And Courier, indeed, has already earned $207,000 for making it to the final, and if he wins it, wins $415,000 today.
Because the essence of the U.S. Tennis Association is supposed to be the promotion of amateur and recreational tennis. That's in the Constitution. So a lot of people within the USTA, because it's made up of volunteers, just wonder why they should be spending so much money helping professionals.
We resume play. 3-all and deuce in the second set. Courier breaking Agassi in the last game to pull even.
So Jim's on the spot again. He came back from the first rain delay at deuce. Got through a break point. And he had 40-15 in this game.
16-minute rain delay. The first was 23 minutes. Wide. And a breaker for Agassi. Now, Agassi did not play as well after the first rain delay.
Well, Courier came out smoking, made a lot of good shots, a few errors by Agassi, but I think one thing he's going to be thinking about coming out of this last rain delay is to keep the ball in play a little bit longer.
Come on.
A big game for both players. Courier fought back from a breakdown. He wants to win this game to go ahead in the second set.
Boy, a gimme. That really makes Courier feel better.
Well, with the two rain delays, with Agassi up 3-1 in this second set, it's been almost an hour since he's won a game.
Now 5:15 Paris time. They started a little after 3. And an ace for Courier, his fourth. He holds. They're on serve 4-3 in the second. Down on the sidelines here at Roland Garros, the winner of the John Denver lookalike contest, Bill Norris, the ATP trainer. He's been busy.
Oh, he's been important throughout these championships. This tournament has been one of many injuries. A number of seeded players, such as Sergei Bruguera from Spain, had to retire from a bad back. So he's been quite busy. Marcello Filippini.
Jimmy Connors.
Jimmy Connors. That last one, I didn't like that one too much.
Yeah, he paid you a few visits on court.
Agassi changed his mind. He wanted to run around and hit that cross-court forehand. He saw Courier hanging over there, and he tried to go down the line.
Well, both of them stepping toe-to-toe. Here's a change of pace by Courier, a slice. Now he's got it. He wants to go back there, but Courier knows his game so well, he stayed in the corner. It's awfully tough to change your mind in the middle of a stroke and still be successful with it.
They've been playing each other since they were 11.
He's been pouncing on that short ball all day.
Well, the last 2 points have been much better from Andre Agassi. Taking a little bit off his shots from the baseline, but still sees the short ball and pounces.
15 all. A 7 in the forehand battle. The top weapon for both men. Wide. 15-30.
I've got to go back to what Mr. Lacoste, Rene Lacoste, one of the four musketeers, tried to get me to do throughout the course of my time here. And when things aren't going well, don't go so much for the lines. Maybe hit a few more balls down the middle. Agassi making a few mistakes, trying to make the ball too good.
Two break points for Jim Courier. Should he convert one of them, he'd be able to serve for the second set.
Well, Agassi was sitting comfortably at one time. Not many unforced errors, but a lot creeping into his game in the last 4 or 5 games.
Definitely not been the same player since that first rain interruption. There's the jammer. One break point lost. Neither does Courier.
We're going to have a look here.
Here comes Henri Bastide.
Can't find it.
And here, of course, will come Bruno Review, the chair hopper.
Called good. It was hit so hard, tough to read. Courier says, I won't fight about it. I'll just rub it out. Oh, a big shot. And
boy, I'll say.
By inches, that could have been Courier's game and serving 5-3.
I think Agassi might have gone for too much there.
Well, he got it.
He got it, but still awfully close.
Great service return. Just get the ball back, and Agassi wheelhouses another forehand.
Now he's responding to the fire.
Now a point from 4-all. Agassi's game, it is 4-all. 2 chances for Courier to take the game and the lead. And the lead belongs to the Chicago Bulls in the NBA Finals as we go to Game 4 tonight on NBC, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello at the Forum in Los Angeles. Michael and Magic, with the Bulls leading 2-1. I would guess that you would have been a good defensive back, Jimmy, because you have a terrific capacity to forget what's just happened. I would think that big matches like Courier here had 2 chances to break. He can't go back there and sort of thinking about those two. You
got to wipe that off your mind. If you don't, then the games and the points are going to start slipping away from you in a hurry.
And that's what you've been advising him to do, Jimmy.
Well, he runs around and just really jumps on a forehand again. He sees the ball's well above the net, so he gets in close. Agassi still with great foot speed gets to it, but not quite good enough. Nastasi had a problem wiping it out of his mind. I'll get back to that in a minute.
Courier's approach is moving up now after Agassi was more than 2-1 in front the first set.
That's a good approach, down the middle.
What about Nastasi?
Well, Nasty was such a great talent, but when one little thing would go wrong with him, he'd just keep it in his mind for the complete match, and he just keeps spitting it out, and not getting it totally out of his system. It affected his play.
Great to remember, but so important to forget. There's that left-handed pulled foul that time by Jim Courier, who's a big fan of the Cincinnati Reds. Don't quite know what the crowd reaction is here.
Nobody can whistle more derisively than the French, but I don't know what it was about either.
A Reds fan, he likes Paul O'Neill, the left-handed hitter, who's among the home run leaders in the National League currently with 12.
Serve Courier.
Serve 5-4 in the second. Agassi serves to stay in the second.
Courier mène par 5-4.
Welcome back to Kenberg. Bud Collins, Jimmy Connors, Joanne Russell. And we sent along our best to Colorado to Chris Everett, who will join us at Wimbledon. Expecting with Andy Mills their first child, and wishing them nothing but the best. And it's great news that she's feeling so much better.
Okay, Courier's game has lifted immensely since the rain delay. Well, Jose Higueras during that second rain break must have noticed something that a lot of people didn't, but Courier is now on the attack.
Three points from the set.
Agassi chooses to be the aggressor now. It's a good approach shot. But what a two-handed shot by Courier.
I bet
Andre might have been a little slow getting in behind that.
First volley he's missed, I believe. Leo Levin, the stats man, says so.
Three set points for Jim Courier.
0-4.
Now Courier has 3 break points. He should take a chance here.
Oh my!
Well, he took the chance. He hit a great return. Well, once you're in there moving close, you got to make your choice and stick with it. He did. He went right back to Andre Agassi. I think he still should have made that volley, don't you?
Yes, it was makeable.
Jim Courier 2 points from playing a best 2 of 3 final with Andre Agassi.
Deuxième Courier.
6-4.
6 à 4. Une manche par pas.
We'll have our 7th American crowned as the French champion in the history, the 100-year history of this championship. Will it be Courier or Andre Agassi, the first to win here in Paris? 1938, part of the first ever Grand Slam. Don Budge, the great American who's watching in the tribunal today. There he is.
He beat Roderick Menzel, a gigantic Czechoslovak, in the final.
I've got to ask both of you. Down 15-40 for Courier to win the set. Agassi tries a drop shot. Terrible choice of shots in my books.
Courier liked it.
Yes.
And what rain has meant to Courier's life here. He was really on the ropes, on the edge of being down 2 sets.
At the beginning of this match, Agassi was dictating play. Now it's Courier way inside the baseline, getting close to the net, winning the points much easier.
Since the rain delay, 28 points for Courier, 15 for Agassi. After Agassi had dominated the first set and the early portions of the second.
Courier's more positive about his game now. Beginning of the match, he was going for a shot, but not sure, unsure, not quite as fluent as he should have been. But now he's in better position, really going for him.
40-0.
Courier to open the third. We return after these words from your local station. Terre battue, red clay, Roland Garros. Actually, it crushed earth, some brick,
some crushed limestone.
Double fault for Agassi. His second. 5 straight points he's lost in this set. Got a quick look at the other 6 winners, and we'll show it to you again. all. Don Budge, the first American to win. Don McNeil in 39. Frank Parker, 48 and 9. Budge Patty in 50. Tony Trabert, 54-55. Then that long 34-year span before Michael Chang finally won in 1989.
Hope Don McNeil is watching. He lives in Florida. He came out of Kenyon College to win the U.S. title, surprisingly.
But this is a role reversal here now.
It sure is. Andre didn't even go for that ball.
Well, Courier gets a short forehand and he lets it go, but Andre is not moving like he was.
Another forehand winner for Agassi. He leads 14-7 in that count.
This match still in a very formative stage, however. It looked over when Agassi had those shots at a 4-1 lead in the second.
Well, Courier knows his best chances to attack, and this is it right here. He jumps on a forehand. Anything that close to the line is unbelievable.
You called it, Jimmy. It's as if Agassi were wearing Courier's shoes now. He just seems stunned by Courier's aggressive, overpowering play as he had Courier on the ropes earlier.
Oh, he saw that vacant court and went too quickly.
Well, that's what he said when we had a chance to talk to him. He says, I used to see that opening and I'd go for it no matter what. And, you know, that's not bad strategy. He had a great opening. He was a point up to go up a break, but he's learned, and that's what Jogaris has told him to, settle down a little bit. You don't have to make such a great shot so soon.
Can't second guess Courier right now because he's come back from the brink of extinction. shot that was. That swinging volley. An incredible shot.
Well, you don't see many play.
The 1991 French Open is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. And by John Deere Lawn Care Dealers. Stop by your local dealer to see why nothing runs like a deer.
1-1 in the third, a set apiece. Andre Agassi, the 4th seed, and 9th seeded Jim Courier. Long-time competitors and friends.
What's happening here is Agassi was in a slugfest at the very beginning with Jim Courier. He was out slugging him. Now Courier has tracked down a few more balls, still hitting with pace, not making as many errors, and it's putting a little more pressure on Andre to go for a better shot. He's missing a few, and he's getting a little frustrated.
There's a case in point. You ought to go into this full time, Connors.
I think that's the first one I've picked this week.
Gonna play at Wimbledon?
I am. I've asked for a wild card.
That's suitable, isn't it?
I hope they respond well and allow me one.
They generally give wild cards to the English players exclusively because there's no other way they could get in their own championship. But I bet there's one for you, Jimmy.
Work on that British accent. On the line. On the line.
Courier is tracking down some bullets by Agassi. Hitting the ball hard and very close to the line. Courier gets a nice easy overhead, waits for Courier to move. And hits it into the open court.
On 40-15, Andre Agassi will be at Wimbledon this year and was criticized as a top player in the world for ducking play on grass at famed Wimbledon, but this year will be attired in appropriate whites and go at it on the green.
Excited to see his outfit. It'll probably be pot de soie.
What is pot de soie?
It's a very light netting that Patty probably wore when you married her, Johnny.
40-30.
I'm still confused.
Well, maybe he'll come out in white velvet.
Oh, no, I understand that.
Or lace, or... But I think he's going to have some wonderful surprises ready for us. I know Julie Hatfield, the great fashion writer in the United States, is wondering.
Courier, 2-1, on serve in the third. The climax of another French championship, the 100th anniversary of these tennis championships in Paris. Part of the 4-event Grand Slam, the Australian, the French, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open. And these two Americans playing dead even now in the third. Just wide. Two different matches it has been. Before the rain, this man, Andre Agassi, dominating, out-hitting his opponent, winning the big points, few errors, then a rain delay, and then another. And Jim Courier, given new life, has been the player of that role. He now dominating and Agassi making the mistakes.
Oh!
Joanne Russell.
Well, I think Coach Connors in the booth and Jose Higueras in the stands here are thinking the same things, because Higueras said he's playing better tactically, getting to the ball, moving better, and what he's doing to Agassi is Agassi sees the ball coming a little differently, and he has to hit a lot more good shots to win the point.
Joanne with us. She is just behind, as you saw in the live interviews. There's a glass door that leads into the players' seating area. And, of course, we don't want to disturb anyone there, so she is visiting with the coaches and trying to get that first-hand information for us. Thank you. 30-all. +9, Agassi, unforced. Was a step late,
but he had the right idea.
Yeah, it's an awfully delicate shot. He had the opening. All he had to do is really get his volley. It's a great return. As he just hesitates a little bit too long there. He gets it. The ball drops a little bit too low.
Well, Andre
he knows it.
Saved himself with one of those public parks chops. Looked like Red Auerbach's favorite shot.
And Agassi holds 2-all.
This is a big time in the match right here. 2-all in the third set, 1 set apiece. Agassi struggling to find his form here. Now's the time. If Courier has a chance to take the initiative, this is it right here. Andre's been struggling. He's made some unforced errors. He's been talking to himself, a little bit unhappy. He has to pull himself out of that.
Named after the 4 Musketeers, the coupe that will be held by the winner today, an American for only the 7th time in history. And with it comes a rather sizable check. More than the women make. It's not equal pay.
It ain't right, but it's happening.
A couple of unforced errors from Courier. Agassi's looking at love 30 here with a chance to regain the lead.
That's a squabble that's been around for a long time, hasn't it, Bud?
The prize money.
The prize money.
Well, sometimes I wonder, should the men get as much as the women? But today they're earning it.
Aren't you anyway? Courier quick off the mark, but the drop shot was just too good. He started to slide a little bit too late. And what a wonderful change of pace by Agassi. Courier way back behind the baseline.
That caught him.
Smart play, getting in and volleying the ball also.
Ooh, he took something off that serve.
2 more chances for Agassi to gain the lead in this 3rd set. They're even a set apiece.
we've heard a lot of different grunts over the course of this championship. A lot of players get down there, they put everything they have into every shot. Heard grunts and squeaks and barks.
You started it. Sea lion.
Jim Courier using his power to bail out of low 40. Wind seems to be carrying the ball that way. When you're hugging that sideline, it seems to blow wide.
Well, the wind did blow the ball a little bit, but Courier was a little bit late on his shot. It's a good deep shot by Agassi, pinned him well behind the baseline.
It's blowing left to right.
Agassi breaks Courier. He has the lead in the third set, 3 games to 2. All-America final at Roland Garros. In many ways, we should compliment the French for the way they've supported this championship, and those who are non-French. They didn't have, on the men's side, much to yell about this year. And the unforced errors continue for Jim Courier, who yelled something into the crowd. In that last game, Courier broken. Agassi scored 5 points, but 4 were unforced errors.
Courier also came back. He was down low 40, got it back to deuce, and made 2 really wild shots. One, the wind affected him, but you come back and you get to a position from that far down, low 40 down to deuce. You want to really dig in and grind it and get through that game.
Don't you feel, Jimmy, the French are a very knowledgeable tennis crowd?
Well, they've had a lot of great players come from France. They've seen the best over the course of the 100 years of this tournament. So, plus, to come out and to support tennis, no matter who, if their owners were playing or the Americans or whoever, would be, they're just a great crowd to play in front of.
We talked about the 70-70 club that only Agassi belongs in that elite company in this tournament, but today 52% first serve, 69, good percentage of winners off the first serve.
At court.
Courier's shots here just keep falling shorter and shorter, giving Agassi the chance to just wind up and let it go.
When he camps out in that area, you're in trouble. He doesn't miss many. Point from 4-2. Courier at sea the last 2 games.
Agassi mène par 4 jeux à 2.
This is where concentration is so important. The match wears on, and that is going to be the difference, I think, Jimmy. Who can stay with it all the time?
If the forehand success is going to be the pattern, it's the day for Agassi. Still leads 2-1 on winners from that side. And a lot of unforced from Courier the last 2 games. On the line.
Well, it looks like Agassi's back on track, especially with his forehand. He steps around, and they can't get any better than that.
No.
You know, to get back to your point, Bud, you're not only battling your opponent down there, you sometimes have to battle yourself. You have to bring yourself out of your lulls. You have to fight from getting too excited or overextended to a point where you let it affect your game.
Hear the wind picking up.
0-30.
Or the moods of this match. Swinging from Agassi to Courier and now back to Agassi.
Well, Courier's gotten away from this the last 2 or 3 games, but now he crunches a backhand, and you see him move forward. That's where he was successful after the second rain delay. Hit those deep shots to the corner and got to the net.
Two more breakers for Agassi.
Now, I think he kind of feeling it slip away a little bit here.
This is mental toughness coming into play here, I think. Shot making's been good at both ends, but Courier wavering just a little, and Agassi not slipping at all after the set began, after he saved that set point in the second game.
Is that because it's his first Grand Slam final?
Don't know. Agassi's been here before, 2 previous majors here in Flushing Meadow.
It's out and Agassi breaks. When we return, he'll be serving for a 2-7 lead. One of the great American players who had fabled battles with Pancho Gonzalez, both of whom did not win the French title, among the great Americans that found this a tough place to win a title.
Well, Kramer didn't play here. He only had 2 big amateur years, 46 and 47, before turning pro.
McEnroe, Connors, Riggs, Stan Smith, Arthur Ashe. It's a rare American trip in Paris to the finals for these two. And Agassi now 3 points from a 2-1 lead. Saying that ball came at him like a knuckler.
That's a tribute to Andre's shot.
Like I'm facing Phil Necro out there.
Wonderful. What a one-liner, like facing Phil Necro.
Yeah, we're having fun, aren't
we? 42e.
3 points for the set.
S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. Merci.
Now, if I were Jose Higueras, I'd be calling up some pilot to seed the clouds.
Troisième manche, Agassi.
He leads 2-1.
Agassi mène par 2 manches à 1.
Call up the rainmaker, Jose.
From 2-0 in this third set, Agassi was the one on the attack. Courier seemed to be content to stay back and run along the baseline.
5 straight games from 1-2 for Andre Agassi to win the set 6-2.
Jimmy, you're down 2-1. Now what are you telling yourself?
Well, you can't rush. You still got a lot of tennis to play, but the fourth set for Courier, he has to get back to that groove where he was when he won the second set, hitting those deep shots to the corners and getting in close to the net. But you don't want to rush to the point where you make unforced errors. Easy to say up here, isn't it?
Oh, we never lost a match.
Well, a serve and a volley for the first point. Drop shot for the second point. That's for the third set, these statistics. Unforced errors, Courier 5 more than Agassi.
About 120. Peter.
He's trying to keep himself loose. It worked for him in that come-from-behind match against Magnus Larsson a week ago Saturday.
He has it covered with it. And he said that's what he admired about Agassi when they were roommates, is 12, 13 years old. He said that Agassi always kept it loose because he'd have a joke or a practical joke. He's been Mr. Serious in this championship.
He has. It seems like it should be just the opposite. Andre should be the one that's doing a little bit of the talking, but he's not.
He's cut that out. Remember in '88 when he got to the semifinals, nearly beat Mats Wilander? He had that horse laugh after a lot of points and played to the gallery. No more.
40-15. Shouldn't be discouraged by that, though, should he, Jim? He was
well, he's
there.
Been successful. He's got to mix that in a little bit. He's got such a good serve, first and second serve, that unless Andre is just jumping all over it, it gives him a chance. Agassi's the one in the groove now.
Oh!
Agassi wild on the overhead, and Courier holds to open the fourth. Back at Roland Garros, and the Terre-Battue stained socks of Jim Courier. Some of the classic photographical tennis shots from Paris. As the sweat drive of the game caught up, and you used to measure your performance by how dirty
That's
you were.
right. The more I was in the trenches, the dirtier I got. And that's how hard I worked, too. The more I was slipping and sliding from the knees down.
Makes laundry tough, and I'm going to reveal your mother's secret, Jimmy. Gloria Connor's solution to dirt courts. I've got it right here.
Love 30. Andre Agassi, comparatively clean.
Your friend Bill Lally and I compared laundry notes. He said, here's what you do, bud. You get Biz and Cheer, mix them up into a solution. Leave the clothes in there for a half hour. Anything that isn't clean after that, you scrub it with Fell's naphtha like your mother used to wash your mouth. Now, Gloria, I hope she's not mad that I revealed her secret, that it never fails.
No, but she ran out of soap washing my mouth out, though.
I'll bet she did. Now, this is no laughing matter for Agassi.
No, here's a triple breaker for Courier to take the lead in the fourth set.
Courier punishing the ball. Now, Agassi a little bit late, but I can't get off of this. What disturbed me about Boris Becker and also a little bit about Courier here. They hit those big shots, and they just don't get in behind them. Actually, I want to say it about Andre Agassi also, even though he's done it much better this match.
And Jimmy Courier breaks Agassi at love and leads to love. It's like he took a little visit, went off to the Bois for a minute or two and came back.
And he's done that in a number of the matches that he's played.
Concentration goes. He went
at the net. Agassi 4 more advances and 7 more points, but Courier has picked it up since the first set. We're live from Paris, and tonight live from the Forum in Los Angeles, 7 o'clock, the NBA Finals Game 4. The Bulls leading the Los Angeles Lakers 2-1, and those two incredible talents, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, paired up again. Lakers need a win before they go back to Chicago. Overtime on Friday. We're looking to the overtime answer in tennis, a possible 5th set if Courier can win this one. 5 aces to 2. Straight points now for Courier. Make that 8 straight.
This has been a roller coaster match so far. The high of Agassi through the first set. The rain delay coming back. The high for Courier to win that second set.
Courier.
Stade Roland Garros, 19 clay courts here, including this center court.
Agassi, as you suggest, Jimmy, is not taking advantage of the deep shots.
Well, he had 2 or 3 shots at that point that I thought he should have come in on.
And he did earlier.
There's a lull in his game again. He felt that lull after the second rain delay. Fought his way out of it to win the third set 6-2.
Let's get a report from Joanne Russell.
Well, Dick, I talked to Nick Bollettieri at the end of the third set when Agassi was in great form. He said in the second set, Courier slowed him down, played way back on the serve, so Agassi tried to power through him, and he rushed. Well, now the tide has turned again.
Courier broke a straight. and sent the racket out to the stringer. There it goes.
30 love.
0-0.
Prior to this game, Agassi had won only 1 point in the set, first 3 games. Agassi holds. 3-1 Courier.
That was a much better game for Agassi, but Courier content to track down his bullet forehands. I wonder how long Courier can last staying that far behind the baseline. And
Nick Bollettieri not as relaxed as when we saw them earlier. Of course, his attention to Andre Agassi, although he coached both for many, many years.
Brother Phil looked anxious there, too.
That's the part of the entourage. Bill Shelton, the agent, is there, as well as the strength coach, Reyes. And I hope you enjoyed the cafe and croissants. Those of you up early with us, live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and now we're in the afternoon. In the States, 6:15, early evening. Appears to be a beautiful final few hours in Paris. Like a visit to the Musée d'Orsay. What a picture. 2 American impressionists, both in quest of their first Grand Slam title.
Andre is a walking abstract canvas.
Looks like one of Monet's water lilies gone wild.
Killer water lily.
You could get arrested in that little town in Florida wearing that outfit.
Oh, he doesn't wear that in Dade City, no. Chief of Police Thompson said, no, nothing like that here, my boy.
Big point.
Well, Agassi had a good drop shot there, but he's expecting that drop shot to win the point. Courier is just too quick around the court for that.
He does move well, doesn't he, for a sizable guy?
He does. Agassi moves extremely well. They both move super. Agassi a little bit flat-footed after the drop shot.
First saw him play, but remember we slipped over. It was 1987 over to Court 2.
Court 2.
For the juniors doubles title, and he and Jonathan Stark won the Wimbledon juniors.
Stark decided to go to college.
Stanford?
Stanford, yes.
Ooh, throws in his second double fault, and with it, Agassi a chance to gain that break back. Andre Agassi leading 2-1. Courier in front 1-3 here in the fourth, but break point Agassi.
That's a loose point from Andre.
Played it passively, didn't he?
Yes. With the break points you get, got to take that chance, and you get them not as often as you would like.
Wind picking up, but the good news is no more rain expected. Little bite on that serve.
They played 2.5 hours almost. What about their conditioning? You think that 2.5 hours at this pace, you think they're feeling it a little bit now, or you think they're still quite fresh?
I don't. I think they're both superbly fit.
That one hit the sideline. It's Courier 4-1 in the fourth. We pause for these words from your local station. Courier leading 4-1 in the fourth, but up only one break. Agassi in front 2-1. There have been only 4 men's finals here that have gone 5 sets. When Courier broke away from the Bollettieri camp, one of the coaches there with Bollettieri went with him, did he not?
Yes, Sergio Cruz. And Sergio was with him here 2 years ago for the biggest win when Jim gained attention by beating Agassi in the third round. So he has played an important role in the Courier career, as has Pat Etcheberry, who is his physical trainer.
You understand that Agassi has only 2 rackets. The one he's playing with, or excuse me, Courier has just the racket he's using, the one that's being strung. That does. Would he only come to the court with 2 rackets?
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
Can Joanne Russell check into that, please?
30-15.
Well, Jim Courier likes only 2 of his rackets, so while one is being strung, he broke a string. He's broken strings in both rackets. He's had one restrung, the other one's up here. He has a bag full of rackets, and if he breaks a frame, he'll switch, but he likes his 2 favorite rackets.
Kind of get everything grooved. That grip feels just right, I suppose.
Well, he should have a bag full that he could just reach in without even looking and pull one out that's exactly the same. That's not only his job, but his coach's job, his trainer's job, or whoever to make that right for him.
Oh, a net board for Courier that gives him a chance to go 5-1.
In a match this long, lulls must hit both players. And right now it's hitting Agassi.
He went into one against Mancini and also Becker in the third set.
Game to Courier. Now he serves to force this into a 5th set.
The 1991 French Open is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free. By Haagen-Dazs, rich, creamy Haagen-Dazs ice cream and yogurt. Taste the passion.
Was at 30.
And by the Diamond Anniversary Band. This year, tell her you'd marry her all over again.
Jim Courier, a game away from a 5th set. He's up 2 breaks now in this 4th.
Well, Courier here tries a delicate drop shot, but too deep, too high, and Agassi there in plenty of time.
Prior effort on that.
Agassi a little slow there, but Agassi's fighting now to pull himself out of this low. Courier, on the other hand, is riding a high. He's won 3 or 4 games in a row. He's hitting the ball well.
Swings indeed have been dramatic. Agassi winning the last 5 games of the last set. Here is Agassi winning only 1 of 6 games in this. Again, a little late to that ball was Agassi.
In talking to Courier the other day, Agassi running wide for a forehand. That's not the Agassi we saw in the first 2 or 3 sets. But he'd get over there in plenty of time with his racket back and unleash that vicious forehand. Courier in much, much better shape than he was last year.
Oh.
2 points to force the decisive 5th.
Silence, s'il vous plaît. Si.
She'll play 1 set for the French Open Championship.
Un petit peu de silence.
Agassi serves to open the 5th set. Agassi 6-3 in the first. Courier answers 6-4. Then Agassi 6-2 in the third. And Courier just motors through the last set 6-1. Set in which Courier had 8 winners to Agassi's 1. In the Open era, since 1968, 4 other championships have gone to a 5th set. Borg won 2 of them over Rontes and Lendl. Remember that classic we had on NBC 84, Lendl rallying against McEnroe, winning the last 3 sets, and Chang and Edberg won 5 2 years ago. Just swept the court, so there aren't many marks out there, and the linesman found the exact one.
And Paul Fendigon, without being summoned from his chair, raced out to defend his call. Through
4 sets, Serve percentages, Courier considerably higher. That's very low for Agassi for this championship. Winners a +6, Agassi, +4, unforced for Agassi now. Ooh, a terrible gust of wind.
It's awfully difficult to hit 4 unbelievable shots like that and keep hitting one right after the other. He was going to have to hit 5 or 6 to win that point. He should have been in on top of the net after the first or second one. I think he knows it, too.
Yeah, he does.
30-15.
But the wind is tough down on the court now. The dust is blowing in their faces.
And that is mean grit if you get it in the eye. It's effective. You can see the ball being fluttered by a swirling wind. I picked up a piece of that chair bed too a couple of years ago, and it took me 3 days to get it out. I've never been in so much pain.
But it's historic grit.
Agassi holds to open the fifth. Second game, 5th set.
That was a wobbly ball that Andre hit back. One of those that Courier early compared to a knuckleball.
Agassi's in complete control at this point. He gets what he wants here. A short lob. Lets it bounce, and Courier guesses right. Well prepared and...
Point of the match.
Great play.
S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs.
That was a love 30 point.
S'il vous plaît. Merci.
15 all. Courier serving love 1 in the 5th. Piece of paper flying out from the crowd, and the cheer umpire.
It's the correct call by umpire review. It could have disturbed Agassi. It was behind Courier. I don't think the crowd understands.
S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs, c'est la règle.
No matter how you're looking at this match, if you pick aside to cheer, and that is the case with many of these fans, they may have felt Courier had the advantage in the point when the lead was called. They're the whistlers.
So the 15-all point is replayed.
At the start of the match, the French were more for Agassi than Courier.
Well, a big first serve by Courier. He gets a short reply, but both players, after almost 3 hours of play, still jumping on every ball, hitting it with great power. I got to ask you two gentlemen one question. If you had one characteristic to pick out between either player, what's going to win them this fifth set and this tournament?
What do you think?
Grit.
Yes.
That's all. Fifth set really doesn't
That's
have too
right.
much to do with tennis. It is now who wants it more and will go take it. They've never played 5 sets in their rivalry.
40-15.
Which Agassi beats 4-2.
There's no defensive tennis out here now. You have to go out. They've gone for their shots now for 4 sets. They have to continue. The one who goes for the shots and makes is going to win. No letting up here by either side.
The two matches here in France were both 4-setters. 1 win each. Game to Courier, 1-all in the fifth. Agassi in the camp of Jim Courier.
He was in a 5th set with Michael Chang, whom he was coaching 2 years ago. We've talked about coaches, we've talked about trainers, but we asked Courier who he relied most on. He said, well, my mom and dad, Jim and Linda. And he told us a terrific story that reminded me of Bjorn Borg's parents. You remember when Bjorn Borg was acting up as a kid and was bad-tempered, swearing, throwing his racket? His mother and father took the racket away and put it in a cupboard and said, you won't play for several months. Now this happened to Courier. He had misbehaved badly at the age of 16 and had played well, but had misbehaved. He was scheduled to go to the Easter Bowl, which is one of the biggest junior championships in the world, the next week. His father said, you're not going, kid. Sorry. He said, that was a lesson well learned.
Agassi caught a sideline, 15-all. They're two very likable guys.
Yes,
they really are enchanting young men at 21 and 20. Both bright.
Andre has had a very bad press, particularly in the United States, and he's making efforts now to overcome that. He secluded himself. He wouldn't give interviews except in press conferences, and that got the press down on him.
But this is a worldly experience they're going through right here. They're playing in front of 18,000 people. They're playing a great game.
Well, they know they're playing in front of millions, Jimmy. I mean, this is going all around the world.
Well, exactly right. But, you know, this is a quick education and a quick maturing lesson for both of them.
Ooh.
Not a bad drop shot by Courier, but Agassi in plenty of time. Courier with a half volley lob. I haven't seen that in a long time. Agassi gets back there in plenty of time, just barely catches the tape.
He leads 2 games to 1. Welcome back to Roland Garros, 5th set, 891 men's championship. On serve, Jim Courier 1-2 in the 5th and decisive set. No tie break here in the 5th. They'll play it out. Let's go to Joanne Russell.
We talked earlier about Jim Courier's having only 2 favorite rackets. Well, they have a stringer here, Eric Breton, and he strings Courier's rackets in 15 minutes. He strings them at 68 pounds and Agassi's at 64. And today he strung 2 of his. Courier's.
Love 30.
Two errors by Courier. He's got to keep from falling behind, going down a break here early in this 5th set.
First Grand Slam final for this young man from Dade City, Florida. Andre Agassi in his 3rd in a period of a year, 3rd final. Neither has won a Grand Slam.
The win, Jimmy? Well, Agassi did well to get out of the way and to play the ball back. Not much pace on it. I think he was trying to run around. The wind might have grabbed it a bit. Both players looking to hit that big forehand off every shot if possible.
Story on the ball cap for those of you who may be just joining us for our live coverage from Paris today of these 91 French Championships. He's a ball player at heart, loves the game, follows it, knows it, and was an outstanding baseball player in his youth, a left-handed hitter, pitcher, and shortstop, Jim Courier, and used it earlier in the tournament. Feels it's his good luck symbol. You don't see it often on court. You can see it's well worn.
Took it up in the Magnus Larsson match a week ago Saturday when he was trailing 2-1, 1 game to 2. And he said, well, and it was cold. There was no sun, but he, for some reason, felt he'd go for the cap. And he hardly taken it off since.
Go from low 30 down to 40-30 for Courier.
You know, both these boys, we were talking about they're very personable young men, but they're opposites in really every way. Courier with the cap, Agassi with the headband, Agassi with the long hair. Courier keeps his hair cut short. Agassi with the earring, no earring for Courier. Different styles, but with one purpose in mind, that's to win this championship.
It's 2-all as Courier caught Agassi looking for the cross-court forehand.
Agassi hits a pretty good return here with speed. Courier backing way into the alley to catch that forehand or rifle it down the line.
Agassi a +7 in the war of the forehands. Perhaps the most telling statistic, though, in the match is the fact that Agassi has not served as powerfully. His first serve percentage quite low in comparison to his 70% plus in this championship. Wind will take that.
5th set. Jimmy, you've been in so many of them. What's your favorite? 82 at Wimbledon?
I played a lot of matches where I've lost in the 5th. I lost 2 matches to McEnroe in the 5th set at the U.S. Open. Agassi way down on his first serve percentage.
He's a little loose.
A lot of it now is the legs, isn't it? How much you want to work those feet. They're both got to be somewhat tired.
This is the one who wants it the most right here. I remember an interesting story of Stan Smith. He was leading Newcomb 2-1 in the finals of Wimbledon back in 1971. And he says, well, what happened? Why'd you lose in the fifth? He says, well, I was already over to the dance. I was thinking about who I was going to dance with. That you can't do that. You got to... There's Stan right there in the hat.
He did win the next year, however, in 5 sets over the Stasi.
Break point for Courier.
Well, Courier hits one heck of a shot. He slides right off the line. I can see a little late in reply. Now, will Courier take a chance right here on this second serve?
Oh!
Down the line by Agassi.
There's Sunday punching today.
Well, it was Courier that was up the game point, but it's Agassi who takes the chance. Steps into a backhand. You can't get any better than that.
Oh, wonderful.
Avantage, Agassi.
Agassi in the fifth. Back in Paris, Courier serves 2-3 in the fifth.
Boy, the wind took that ball.
And that one.
Yeah.
Well, last game, Andre Agassi faced the first real bit of pressure here in the fifth set by being down a break point.
Had the answers.
3 in a row. 3 big shots in a row. Courier now in the fifth is the one fighting always to get even in games.
Earlier today at center court here at Roland Garros, the women's doubles championship won by American Gigi Fernandez and Czechoslovak Jana Novotná. They beat the Soviet pair of Sevchenko and Zvereva 6-4, 6-love. Congratulations to Fernandez and Novotná. Best Jean Barotra, one of 2 of the 4 Musketeers still alive. Twice the winner here, the French championships. As Bud has told you, he still plays every day if he can.
Yes, he says play singles. He'll be 93 in August. You can send him a card. Jean Barod for France. Got married a couple of years ago.
Seated next to the trophy, he'll be part of the presentation.
after losing the point to go to 40-15 this game, I heard him say as he walked back there, fight for every point. He missed the shot early. He didn't want to do that.
Even 3-all in the fifth and decisive set. The Coupe de Musketeers, named after the famed French players of the 20s and 30s. And there's the runner-up trophy. One that was part of Andre Agassi's experience last year when he was upset by Andres Gomez.
Both these young men, Andre Agassi hasn't won a Grand Slam, even though he was in 2 finals, and this is Courier's first. 3-all in the fifth. I wonder if a little bit of nervousness is creeping into their games. Well, I guess they answered my question right away. Agassi with one of the most difficult shots in the game. 2 of the most difficult shots. A high backhand overhead and a delicate touch forehand volley.
He's been volleying very well. He's had opportunities to do it more.
There's some mistake in tennis, at least in our backyard games, about that 7th game of the set. Here we are, 15-30 in the 7th of the 5th set of the French Championship.
Andre couldn't make up his mind if he was serving and volleying or not.
I saw it, but I don't believe it. He was coming in, he was caught serving and volleying there, and he got halfway in and he stopped.
S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs, s'il vous plaît.
2 break points.
Go!
Well, Agassi erases one with a big first serve, but the forehand he steps way around. Lets Courier make up his mind which way he's going. That's it.
Point from a 4-3 lead for Courier. Now serving with the lead, Jim Courier in the 5th.
Well, this is the point that gave Jim Courier the break of serve. Agassi with a good kicker, but Courier steps way out into the alley. Usually pulled that up the line, but he slapped his forehand cross-court, going away from Agassi's backhand.
That point to break Agassi in the last game. They've been out here over 3 hours. A little break with a couple of rain interruptions. And, oh, they're still hammering the ball.
shows right there how well they know each other's game. Agassi running around his forehand, smacking balls cross-court down the line, and Courier there in plenty of time.
One of their longer rallies, 17th stroke.
Well, look at the wind take this ball here. Courier goes in behind not a bad approach shot, but Agassi in plenty of time lifts the topspin lob for a winner.
Pressure on Agassi now, trying to dig out of a break of service. And now he gets two chances to break back.
Courier with a sigh of relief. He comes in behind a good approach. He has just what he wants here. He doesn't quite strike it as firm as he would like. Agassi with another chance. This is dangerous.
Oh, my. That looked too familiar.
The wind now really gusting.
Agassi with another chance to go 4-all.
Oh, no.
Agassi.
No, it is called good. Agassi, it hits the line. It's 4-all.
Those times this hand went out, his own were out, and then came parallel to the line, meaning the ball was good.
And you saw Courier nod his head there to his opponent. Yes, it hit the line. So they change breaks of service. And the drama continues toward the French Open title here at Roland Garros, and the gusts of wind carrying clay into the third and fourth rows of the stands. Part of the capricious nature of this event. Do you take something out of your game, Jimmy, when wind starts whirling like this, swirling?
No, these two players have the game for the win. They hit the ball very firm, very solid. It penetrates the wind. It's better for them.
I have the feeling, as I said earlier, that they came, especially the young fans, rooting for Agassi, but as it's developed, the crowd pretty well split down the middle. They're hearty cheers for both.
Both having trouble.
Agassi the more popular because I don't think they heard enough of Courier. Agassi's results and his flamboyancy has been more popular. They're seeing plenty of Courier today.
Tough now as you see the shadows have grown onto the court from the western side.
Well, there's a lot of composure by this young man, whether he wins or not. He's given it everything he has. It's mighty difficult to be in your first Grand Slam final in a fifth set with Andre Agassi, who's more or less proven himself.
And now he gets a second serve. He has 2 break points to go up 5-4. A tremendous gift by Courier, and Agassi misses. Courier will be first in the championship. Server has lost the last 3 games, and now it's Jim Courier serving for the French Open Championship.
Courier in his first Grand Slam final, his knees have to be wobbling a little bit. He still has to be the aggressor, but for Andre Agassi, he has to keep the ball in play, make Courier hit the shots.
Wind whistling and moaning through the chair umpire's microphone, disturbing Courier. Two more. Courier shouts to himself, "Come on."
Never that nervous when he played you, Jimmy.
He ran me ragged down here. He's too nervous to look, I'm afraid, now.
S'il vous plaît. Mesdames et messieurs, s'il vous plaît, merci. Merci. Oui, s'il vous plaît.
Oh!
Set, match. Courier, 3-7 à 2. 3-6, 6-4, 2-6, 6-1, 6-4.
Jim Courier of the United States, Dade City, Florida, French Open champion. 3-6, 6-4, 2-6, 6-1, 6-4. He lived in the shadow of Andre Agassi most of his young tennis life. Agassi was always the star. They roomed together at 12 and 13 years of age, and now he runs to embrace Jose Agassi, the man who has coached him this last year and helped him to be more patient on clay. And he finishes this dramatic French Open championship with a 7th ace. 7, usually a lucky number. It's also up jumped the devil in Las Vegas, and for Andre Agassi of Las Vegas, Nevada, it is he who falls again in his quest for a Grand Slam final. And Jim Courier has made this a memorable time for all those who have cheered the underdog, who appreciate the fact that a man is really never number 2. And suddenly everyone is relaxed in that corner of Roland Garros. You did it, says Jose Agassi. An American in Paris on this Sunday, Jim Courier, champion. Now this large crowd of 18,000 at Roland Garros wait the presentation of the Championship Cup and the runner-up trophy. Jean Barotra, along with the president of the French Tennis Federation, Philippe Chatrier, involved in the ceremony. Here they are, 2 Americans who provided wonderful theater on this red clay stage of Roland Garros. Champion Jim Courier, runner-up again, Andre Agassi. We're going to hear the speeches as well as Bud Collins has made his way down there. We'll get some personal remarks, reactions from each of the finalists today. We asked him yesterday, Jim, if you win the championship, for whom will you be most proud? And whom would you want to call first? And he said, oh, yes, Dad and Mom, all those hours. Oh, I said, was it Mom more than Dad? Usually dads are working, moms are one having a fair. No, he said, she'll still go out and feed me balls, even today. And my dad, an athlete himself, what an inspiration he was. So as he raises that trophy, the thoughts must be going back to Florida, to his father, Jim, mother, Linda, is with his younger brother in North Carolina. Couldn't make it today. The passports were in Dade City. Couldn't get back in time to make the trip. Here he is.
I think first off, just like to, I don't know the right words to put it in, but just say congratulations to Jim. It's a great tournament for him. He deserved it today, and congratulations. As for me, I'll have to try again another year, so I look forward to coming back. Thanks.
Well, I'd like to start by saying bad luck for Andre. It was a tight match, and just a few points here or there make the difference. And, you know, I got a little bit lucky, but sometimes that's what it takes. And, sorry. Secondly, I'd like to thank all the fans for, you know, making this a special tournament, because you guys come out and support it every year, and we appreciate it. And the last thing I'm going to say is I'd just like to thank Jose Agassi. I wouldn't be standing here without you. Thanks, Jose.
Now, brief remarks by both finalists. Obviously emotionally down, Agassi disappointed. That's 3 finals, Grand Slam finals within a year, where he's been unsuccessful. The French last year, the U.S. Open, and now another French. And Jim Courier coming a long way, the number 9 seed, to steal the title in France, saying it was bad luck for Agassi, but you could just sense that Courier holding in a lot of wonderful emotion. We'll get more specific. Bud Collins with the questions. We'll meet both the winner and the loser. And coming up, report head-to-head Magic Johnson. So stay with us. Interview with Jim Courier and Andre Agassi and Magic Johnson when we return to Roland Garros. Agassi had a 2-1 lead. Courier takes the 4th 6-1 and wins it in the 5th 6-4. Andre Agassi now with Bud Collins.
Andre, you're in the final for the 2nd straight year, and congratulations on that. It appeared before the 2 rain delays that you were going to take a 2-set lead. Did the rain hurt you?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, you know, considering how it turned out. I didn't feel like it did. I just came out and he adjusted a little bit in his game plan and started throwing a few more loopers in there, and I didn't adjust very quickly to that.
When you had a 2-1 lead, how did you let him get away from you?
He played a good game to get the first break on me, and I was still hanging in there at 4-1, and then he put a couple points together to break me again, and it's amazing how quick a set can go, you know, when somebody gets the right bounces.
It vanished. You volleyed very well. You only missed one volley in the entire match. Do you think you could have gone up more?
Probably the only reason why I didn't miss a lot of volleys is because I really picked my moments to come in. Maybe I could have done that. It's easy to second guess now. I'm just, you know, maybe again next year. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
The biggest point, of course, of the 5th set was the smash that you hit wide, wind swirling around, clay all over the place. What happened on that shot?
Today was just a question of, you know, who is going to bear out the circumstances better. There are a lot of things you can control, which is your determination, your focus, your concentration, but there are things you can't. And it was just one of those things, tough conditions, and he hung in there.
Did he out-concentrate you?
I don't know about that. I think he put together a few points at the right time. I think we both were pretty focused.
Andre, we'll see you at Wimbledon. Not in this color. Do you have something in white planned for us?
Yeah, Wimbledon's going to allow me to wear it, bud.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well?
I'm kidding.
Andre, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Back to Dick.
Well, good. Got a smile out of Andre at the end. Obviously disappointed. Jim Courier will meet him. Bud Collins will have an interview with the winner, and another winner standing by as well. An NBA report. Magic Johnson, Game 4 against the Bulls tonight. Don't wander away. Jim Courier is the 7th American to win the French Open Championship in 5 sets over Andre Agassi. Like his baseball heroes, hit a grand slammer. Bud?
Well, here's King James I, but what happened to your crown?
Oh, well, I tossed it in the crowd. You know, I'll get one next year.
With the magic dust and everything?
Well, I can find some more, I think.
Jim, why are you the French champion?
Well, today I just I got a few breaks here and there. I worked hard for my points, changed strategy mid-match, and
to what?
Well, instead of closing in on the baseline when he was serving, I stood back a little bit and made sure I could get the ball deep and make him hit a few more balls. And you know, fortunate enough that his serve went off a little bit, so I started getting some looks at some second serves, and I just hung tough basically because you know, 5-setter, you know, it's about guts basically.
Did it rain on his parade before those? It looked as though he was going to be
Possibly.
2 sets up.
Yeah, probably did. And you know, that's part of the luck thing. You know, it's sometimes things like that happen, and you have to make the best of it one way or another. And today I did.
All right, you won. You were up a service break in the 5th, and you lose your serve. Were you nervous? Were you getting the wobbles then?
Oh, gagging up a storm. I didn't know. It was just terrible. But the last game, I just put it in my head from the first point. I said, this is the first game of the match. That's all you're playing, and that's the way I played it.
Did you see him miss that big smash? You were scrambling to your left. You raised that backhand lob.
Oh, yeah. My eyes were open. I saw it.
Did you think he should have smashed it out of the air?
It's awfully windy, and it's swirling out here quite a bit, so I would have let it bounce if I were him, too.
Your first major Grand Slam final. There are 3 times as many people surrounding us as live in Dade City. What was your feeling? What was your feeling in coming out here?
Well, to tell you the truth, my nerves were gone after the rain delay. I was a little bit tentative in the first set coming out and letting him dictate the points, and you know, I just felt a little tight in my stomach. And, you know, the rain came, and I just went in there and I just talked with Jose, and we just talked it out, and, you know, I was patient enough to get the job done.
Did you have any idea of winning the French Open when you came in here?
No, I really didn't, because my form was not too good in Hamburg and Rome, so I was just hoping to sneak through the first couple rounds and see what happened, and that's what I did, and I just progressively got better and better.
Well, here he is for the people at George and Gladys Barbecue, the King of France, Jim Courier. Dick?
And an appropriate smile to go with it. Jim Courier, indeed the champion. Still to come, a report. The NBA game tonight from Magic Johnson, and oh, don't wander away. It's been a great championship, and all of our talented people have put together a final thought package. Coming up.
The 1991 French Open is brought to you by Diamante, the new luxury performance sedan from Mitsubishi. By Radisson Hotels. Why get a room when you can get a Radisson? And by Post Grape Nut Cereal. Breakfast with grape nuts helps keep you going strong all morning long.
So Jim Courier, 20 years of age, and his first Grand Slam opportunity, wins the French Open Championship in 5 dramatic sets over his former roommate, Andre Agassi. The world came tumbling down happily for young Courier. We'll be back with more of the top moments of this 100th French Championship, from Connors to Chang to Courier. But first...